When you first introduced me to this concept, it blew my mind at how simple and effective it can be. I've seen firsthand how amazing it is. I think it's a real linchpin for allowing marketing to do this segmentation because it aligns sales and marketing so closely. Can you please tell us what cataloging the market is?
So, firstly, I cannot take all of the credit for this. This was shown to me by a mentor in big finance called, his name is Mark Revel. It's as simple as once we had some of those targets or triggers or the companies that we wanted to contact who should have been our next best, we would simply just use business development as that feedback loop of getting that market intel. Now, that market intel would be something like who are they currently using? What do they like about it? What they don't like about it? Are they in a fixed term contract? Are they going to go to tender? If so, what would that process be? And then that would enable you to be a little bit cheeky and ask questions like, how often do you audit your current provider versus what's out there? So doing this in this manner, George, enables you to speak to that prospective buyer as an account manager for an account that you don't yet have. Now, why that's important is it enables you to lower the barrier of entry because you're not pushing them into the hard sell to take this meeting then and there, or you're not asking them for the deal in the first call. You're simply asking for the right information that could possibly win you the deal and enable you to walk some of that information back over to marketing to make sure that you could create something together that's going to make you more effective.
So to be clear, Adam, this process of cataloging, it's literally taking those target accounts that we defined as our ideal customers as part of that segment, and we're literally calling them. Is that right? We're literally calling them on the phone and asking them this series of questions.
Yeah, that's right, George. So we would do all of this through direct conversations. And in most cases, if that channel that we had validated was by the phone, we would obviously have that live conversation there. I have seen members of my teams do this in multiple places, as far and wide as Instagram DMs or LinkedIn DMs. But the core component of this is asking them information about who they're currently with, how they're solving that problem, what they like about it, what they don't, what they wish they could change. That then opens the door to get a whole heap of information that you can then use as your feedback loop to have more effective marketing, to get you right into having a more valuable discussion in terms of the deal room.
So you're constantly handing information back to marketing then on like what those problems are that people are experiencing. So marketing can create better educational content. And then also if sales wants to pass on like a one-to-one capacity, a piece of creative that they know is really going to hit home and address those core problems, it sounds like we get that information on what those problems are from cataloging the market.
Yeah, it's not only that, George, it'll also give you a picture between that feedback loop between sales and marketing of who's with who, what they like, what they don't. And that it'll paint a picture as well as tell you things like what their annual contract value is, which is important for downstream commercial viability, as well as give you more validation from the market in terms of feedback loops for their known objections. So that can then translate in terms of what can be built to make sure that you can win for those personas.
I mean, that is the best intent data you could get. If I could buy that from a database, I absolutely would. That would be unbelievable. It sounds like you've got to use this cataloging the market method to get that information firsthand. But I mean, moving to this next slide, as a marketer, I mean, if this is what you end up with, that is incredible. So what effectively you're getting that list of best fit companies and you have here like an indicator as to whether someone is currently in market looking to buy or whether they're still on contract and they're coming up for renewal soonish, or maybe they're not coming up for renewal for some time. So we know who to prioritize.
Yeah, that's exactly right, George. So what that did was enable us to have a really closely alignment with marketing. We could then prioritize who's going to be in market within the next 3 months, opposed to who's going to be in the market in the next six. But the most important component of that, or one of the most important components of that, is asking permission to come back to them and show them at certain time periods, or asking, would it be okay if I come back to you 4 to 6 weeks, and just to make sure that nothing has changed. if that was the outcome of that call, you would then go and speak directly to marketing to say, could you build me something within this time frame so that I have something to show them and go back with them in hand.